What's going on, Knife Tube? So today we are going to be reviewing the QSP Ripley. I've been carrying this for a couple weeks now, and let me tell you, I really enjoy it. It's basically the big brother to the Canary. This would be the full size. Different styles slightly in the blade and that, but very similar as well too. Um, let's get the measuring tape out, see what we're working with. As for overall, we've got 8 inches. Cutting edge, we're looking at 3 3/8, and then I'd say 3. Oh, let's 3 3/8, and then I'd say just under 3.5 overall for the blade length. And then for the handle, we're looking at 4.5. I also want to just show you guys the width on these because I just feel like everyone's hand differs so much, so this information could help some people. So 1 inch there, almost 26 millimeters. Then we'll check at the spine here. And 11.7 millimeters to 0.46 inches. The handle is very comfortable, even though I was a little concerned about the style of these scales. Like, it has these, seem to be rough edges for no reason. But when you give the knife a grip, it does actually seem to lock you in pretty good. So it's not like you're moving around against it. Like, it's even like, see, these really lock you in at the knuckle here. So, and then on the back of the spine of the handle as well, like, you wouldn't call this jimping, but maybe you would. I don't know. But it's definitely comfortable. If your thumb's a little far back, it gives you some grip. Then you have your jimping up here as well. You can get a lot of control of this knife is basically what I'm trying to say. But I would maybe, after an hour's use, I could see this maybe getting uncomfortable. I haven't used it for that long yet, but so far it hasn't been uncomfortable. It's just a concern that rough use, the knife's going to be moving a little more. So I could see where for some people this might be not ideal, but to be honest, it hasn't really bothered me whatsoever. Like I said, it does somewhat act as like a lock for your knuckle there, so when you bend your finger, so it really seems to be functional. The liners only go a third way from the top, so you save some weight there, which is nice as well. The pillars on this knife are really cool. Like, everything's just really well built by QSP. I really like it. Um, One thing about the blade, I'll say this though. On the Canary neck knife as well, I mentioned that they're just kind of like sticky, when your fingers touch them, they're just leaving big fingerprints. And then when I was using this one, I was kind of feeling like the sides of the blade were giving the material like bits of friction. So figured, why not just oil the blade and see if it helps. Then of course I rubbed it all off, like there's no oil lingering making it slide, but I think the steel was a little thirsty. Now it's moving a lot faster and smoother through my cuts. So, usually knives will come pretty well oiled, but if that's the case, just give yours a little bit and it'll help quite a bit. This came in the 14C28, just under $100. Great price for this knife, honestly. Like you can see there, strong detent on this thing. If you don't hold that button down, it won't go all the way for you. But other than that, very comfortable. This steel is great. Like, I haven't babied it. Like, I just put the oil on yesterday, and I haven't really babied it at all. I really like the way this steel is. Like, no spotting. I've used it in the kitchen. Used it on my food before. Yeah, it's a really good EDC. I can't lie, and at the price, QSP really hit the mark with this one. The one shame about this knife, I don't know if some people might enjoy this, others might not, but this knife does run on bearings. So depending if you know what you do for work and what environments you're in every day, if there's a lot of dust in your pockets or dirt where you're going to be putting this knife down, the mech is going to get clogged up. So it is a little bit of a shame, to be honest, because I would love to bring this knife literally anywhere. I've really enjoyed it. Uh, the flat grind, full flat, really just after oiling it up, it's been sliding right through things. It needs a little bit of a sharpen. It's been about 2 weeks, like I said. Um, I'm also going to put just a bit tighter of an edge on it, give myself more surface area on the edge. I think that would help a lot as well. But from the way it comes factory, I mean, anyone just buying a knife and going to use it, I think you'd be perfectly satisfied with this. Yeah, I'm real. I got to tell you guys, like, QSP is a great. If you guys are just starting with pocket knives or anything like that, QSP really is a great place to start. Like, this knife really reminds me. I spent a lot of money. I've talked about this before. I spent a lot of money on this knife. Um, the reality is they have the same locking mechanism. This is a third of the. I paid for this one. I actually paid under retail for this because Cutting Edge Cutlery actually gave me a 10% code I can use. So shout out to them. Go check them out. Buy some knives from them. But so this cost me 10% less than retail. This one I got from Blade, so I didn't get a discount on it. But this one's basically, this is almost $400 for the average, for the normal person buying without a code. This one came out to like $115 with shipping. So, and the reality is that the blade play on the Osborne is worse. Like, it's just a fact. You can't deny it. The Osborne is a lot lighter, and it's nice for what it's made for too. But I can't. This thing really just it shines for what it's for what you pay. You're really getting some quality here. Like, the only shame I would say is those bearings, but that is, yeah, that's where you get this detent, which some people really enjoy that. So I can't exactly, I don't want to say I'm hating on it because like I said, I'm enjoying this knife quite a bit. But it is nice to just, like, I like washers because, I'm a painter. I used to do construction. So that's the type of knife I like. I like being able to get my knife dirty and not worry about it. But if you're not in those types of settings all the time and you have this knife, I don't think it's really going to matter. Um, Mine's gotten a little dirty, even in my pockets. I clean the lint out and stuff because I'll put some oil on the mech too when I get them, just to make sure they're smooth. But yeah, there's not really anything bad to say about this knife. The one concern I did have was these rough spots where your fingers land, but as I said, for the most part, it seems to lock you right in. Um, the knife is gliding through whatever I put it through, so it's not too rough on the palm or anything like that. So I think other than long term use or something like that, this should be fine. Like, I'm not sure as to why they went this route, but obviously it helps with style, and that's a plus for some people. So that's exactly it. Sometimes it's, style over function, but it still functions very well, and I'm a huge fan of this knife. So there's no complaints, and that's not even really a complaint from me, but just something to note, in case you're more, if the handle is like a huge deal for you on a pocket knife, then this might not be the one for you. But I also wouldn't let me saying this discourage you just because, like I say, it's not, I'd call it less than medium on texture, locks you in. But if you are using a pocket knife for over an hour at a time, then it's just something to consider. But yeah, so as usual, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe, guys.